When you go for these promotional cards that offer 0%, that means the amount that you carry, it could be 1,000, 2,000, it could be 80,000. That amount has 0% interest. And you carry that balance for 6 months. For the next 6 months, that balance will stay at 5,000. I don't think you understand what I'm trying to put down. Like, you're essentially getting a loan without any interest. Oh, man, what's up, YouTube? Hey, look, it's a beautiful day and you're a beautiful person. Now, I didn't know about you creeping on me. We're gonna keep it P, that's fine. But look, if you clicked on this video, you wanna know, how do the rich people do it? How do the rich people use credit to their advantage while us regular people just use credit cards to buy clothes, food, vacations? Let me tell you something. In this video, I'm gonna break it down exactly not only how credit works, how to also maximize your credit, how to take advantage of credit cards with 0% interest, but also how to use that to gain assets and increase your income. So we could become just like these rich people, just like these wealthy people. The difference between us and them is what we do with our credit. So stay tuned, stay to the end, and I'm gonna teach you exactly the game you need to know. Let's get it. I'm gonna start by saying this. Credit is not free money. Credit is essentially borrowed purchasing power. Think of it like this. When you open a credit card, they give you a credit limit of, let's say, 10,000. Now the bank is essentially lending you $10,000 of credit, and they trust you to use up to that amount and that you will pay it back on time. Now the statement balance is what you owe at the end of the month when they see, okay, this person used X amount of money. So now the statement shows that you owe that much money. The minimum payment is how much you have to pay back in order to keep that account active and okay status. Meaning whenever you check your credit report and you see 30 days late, that's because you did not pay the minimum payment. You didn't pay it. You goofed off and you didn't care. Now it's gonna affect you. Utilization is gonna be how much of that credit card that you're actually using. So if you use 3,000 out of 10, you're using 30%. Anything over that, ideally 10%, is way too much. If you're using 50, 60, 70%, almost 100, if you're using 100, pay that thing off. I ain't gonna lie, just pay it off. Because that utilization gets reported to your credit report. You might have a bad credit, but that might be the reason why. Your payment history is gonna be how many times you paid on time. Now, ideally, this needs to be 100% because even one missed payment is gonna hurt your credit score a lot. So you need to make sure that every time, even if you don't have the money, you need to stop spending it on that food. Don't buy that DoorDash. Don't buy them kicks. You need to pay the minimum payment. So the goal here is not to be good at carrying debt, it's to be great at controlling it and using strategies around that. So you might be asking, how do I maximize my credit in order to use these concepts? Now it's simple. Your credit is broken down into 5 big things, and I'll go ahead and put it right here. But the first biggest thing is gonna be that payment history. Hey, if you miss one payment, even a credit card payment, you're gonna see your credit score drop all the way from like 680 to like 620 overnight. And that's only fixed or undone if you just pay everything on time, even that minimum payment. The second thing is that credit utilization. So the people that have over 50, 60, 70% of their credit card used, guess what? If you check your credit report, you're gonna see it go down as well. Because anything over 10, ideally, or 30% is gonna show that you were irresponsible with credit and that the banks cannot trust you to pay back that initial amount that you borrowed or they lent to you. The next part is gonna take some time, but it's gonna be the length of your credit. So if you just opened a credit card and you just had one that you opened a year ago, the average time that you've had credit is gonna decrease because it goes on an average of all your credit, okay? So if you wanna keep this high, do not apply for new credit every week, not even every month. We go by 90-day cycles. That means 3 months, you should at least be not at least, but you want to be applying in a timely manner, because if you constantly apply and constantly try to get new credit, the lenders are going to see, okay, this guy is desperate for new credit, so we can't trust him. You got to realize, the people looking at your credit, they're real people. If your little brother saw you asking for money every week, he's going to realize, all right, there's a red flag in this. I'm not going to give him as much money as I used to, or any at all, because he's not paying it back, and he's also asking for a lot. You got to understand the concept of credit. The last two are a small amount of your credit report, but they still affect your credit. You have credit mix, and you also have new credit. Now, there's two types of credit. You have installment, which is loans, auto loans, mortgages, and on the other side, you have revolving credit. That's going to be your credit cards. In order to max out this credit mix, you just want to have a good amount of both. It's not bad to have a lot of credit cards or a lot of loans, but ideally you want to have both of each, because the lenders or the banks are going to see that you have different types of credit and you know how to manage all different types of debt. Lastly is that new credit piece. That's going to be 10%. That's essentially all the new inquiries that go on your credit. Now, for instance, when you go to a car dealership and you try to apply for a car using the dealership, they're going to run your credit through everyone in the neighborhood. The next time you check your credit profile, you're going to have like 10 inquiries, and they still going to tell you that you did not get approved. Ideally, you do not want to go straight to the car dealership and apply for credit. Do it with your credit union. That's a different, subject. So in order to maximize your credit, pay everything off on time. Do not use your credit utilization over 30, ideally, really 10%. Okay? Then you don't want to keep applying to new cards and have all these inquiries, because that adds up and that will lower your credit score. And then you want to have a length over 3 years. Now, when you first get into credit, you might not get that. Just give it some time. It's not the biggest factor in your credit report, but it will eventually have an impact. And last but not least, that new credit. Like I said, not too many inquiries. Don't be applying to everything. Don't be rushing to a credit card after this, because it's not going to help you. Now, when it comes to the wealthy people, the rich people that know how to use credit correctly, there's two different types of credit. You got consumer debt, and you also got productive debt, or good debt, okay? Consumer debt is pretty much what 90% of people use credit cards for. That's gonna be to buy jewelry, clothes, vacations, restaurants, anything that doesn't produce a dollar in return. That's gonna be consumer debt. It's the same thing as swiping your credit card or just giving cash money to someone and not expecting anything in return. On the other side, what the wealthy people do, they have something called good debt or productive debt. This is money borrowed for something intended to increase income, increase productivity, increase business, increase anything that's gonna give them money in return. Essentially, it's like an investment. When you invest in something, you expect something in return. That's productive debt, because when you put in the money, you're gonna expect money back. And when you get money coming in and flowing a lot, what's gonna happen is you're gonna get that money back and you're gonna pay off all that debt. That's why it's good debt, because at the end of the day, you're gonna pay it off, but you're still gonna have money accumulating from spending that credit in the first place. Hence the rich people credit. So here's a few questions that you need to ask before swiping that credit card, because all these credit limits, hey, I got 10,000, I'm about to go crazy. Don't do that. Ask yourself this: what exactly am I buying? How will this purchase generate income? How long will it take to produce the income? What are the ongoing expenses? How will I repay the card if the purchases produce no money? And last but not least, is the profit worth the risk? Ask yourself these questions before you just go and buy an investment or anything for that fact, because at the end of the day, most people don't use credit cards in the way they should. Now that you understand the concept and how credit actually works, we're gonna dive into a little hack. Most times when you look at credit cards, there's always a few cards that offer a 0% APR for like 12 months, 18, even 24. Those are the cards you wanna target. And I'll tell you why. When you find a credit card and it has a 0% APR, remember in the beginning how I said credit cards have up to 30, 40, 50% APR and you pay interest on that balance that you carry? When you go for these promotional cards that offer 0%, that means the amount that you carry, it could be 1,000, 2,000, it could be 80,000. That amount has 0% interest. You know when you take out a loan and they tell you, oh, you gotta pay 12% back. This is better than a loan. You get a credit card with a credit limit of 10,000 and you put on 5,000 and you carry that balance for 6 months. For the next 6 months, that balance will stay at 5,000. I don't think you understand what I'm trying to put down. Like, you're essentially getting a loan without any interest. And in the process, you're building a relationship with the bank because you're using the bank's money and you're making the money with the transaction fees, whatever, but you're also paying no interest on it. So think of it like this. You find an investment and you put 5,000 on it and you expect to make money in 8 months, but over the next 8 months, you don't pay any extra balance on that card. So what's gonna happen is you're gonna carry just that $5,000, and when you start getting money, you can pay it off. And even then, you still have months to go with 0% interest. And there's ways that once this card expires for the 12% or the 0% APR, what you could do is you could get another 0% card. You could do something called a balance transfer, where you transfer the balance of this credit card onto this one. And this new one has 0% interest. And essentially what you're doing is credit card stacking. And now that 0% interest, it expired on that old card, but now the balance is on this card. And now you have 12 to 24 more months of 0% interest. There is nothing like that when it comes to loans, when it comes to borrowing money. This is why credit cards are so useful, and how the wealthy people think is so much different from the average consumer. Because the average person is gonna buy some new kicks and be like, oh, I don't gotta pay no more money on that. But them kicks ain't gonna make you no money. You get what I'm trying to say? So we're gonna use that credit card to buy an investment, pay no extra money, and by the time the income comes from that investment, we're gonna have no extra interest. Think about that. I'm really like putting it down so y'all can understand, like, there's a whole different world out here. The people that own the building that I'm in right now probably use these concepts, but they don't teach this in the school, because the school would, if everyone knew credit like this, I'm gonna tell you right now, the world would be so much different. But we need people that are ignorant. And I'm not saying this like in a sense where I think of this. It's true. Like, if we don't have people that don't know how to use credit and people in debt, that's how the banks make money. The banks make money because they charge overdraft fees. They charge fees when you swipe the card, mainly the overdraft. But like, this is the concept of America. It's why America booms. But if you learn this stuff, you'll be on the top of the game. Hey, I'm just letting y'all know. So now that we dived into the 0%, I'm gonna tell you what you could possibly invest in to make more money so that you could pay off that original balance, but also once it's complete and paid, you still have money coming in. Because that's what we really wanna target. We wanna target things that keep making us money even though we paid off the debt for it. That's how we build more income. If you're a business owner or you wanna have a business, this is the ideal thing you wanna do. You wanna invest in equipment for your business. You wanna buy, if you have a pressure washer business, get the equipment. Get that pressure washer, get that trailer to haul it, get that photography down, get that cleaning equipment for it, get everything you need to get, but especially get a marketing idea, get ads, run Facebook ads, run flyers, know someone and find someone that could do it for you, because eventually those people will help you in order to market better and market more. You could also do things that are like passive income. You could get a vending machine business. That's real easy. You just stock it up. You leave for a week or two, you come back, you do it again, you gain the profit. An ATM machine, same thing. They charge like a percentage or a fee every time someone takes out money. That's money to your pocket. I was going a little crazy, but now y'all know how to use credit, what credit is, and what credit could do. But let me tell you who should not be doing this. There is people in this world that should not be tapping into these credit hacks, credit ideas. The people that have high utilization, the people that already miss payments, the people that don't have the income to even pay off the debt. Because if you spend it on your credit card and you can't pay it off, you know what I'm saying, you're inevitably gonna be in debt. People that have no idea of business, marketing, first learn all that stuff, first get your finances right, first fix everything in that sector, and then dive into the, you know what I'm saying, the credit, the 0%, the income building and all that stuff. Because if you start diving into this and you spend $5,000 on a credit card and you have no way to pay that back, I promise you, if your plan goes south and that doesn't work out for you, you now got $5,000 extra in debt and a business plan that completely flopped. So for the people that are not set up already, set yourself up, read some books, go on YouTube. You can learn anything on YouTube nowadays. YouTube University, that's the way I'm going. But like, do what you need to first, gain the knowledge, and then finally dive into all these little credit hacks, credit things. The first things I would say is to pay off all your debt, right? You need to be debt free. If you're not debt free already, you're gonna be more in debt if this doesn't work out, and there's a high chance it doesn't work out. Let's just be realistic. Let's just be realistic. The next thing I want you to do is build an emergency fund. Emergency fund is like, if anything goes south, if your car breaks down tomorrow, you have money to cover that cost. If you don't have money to cover that cost, the next paycheck you got is gonna cover that cost. But guess what? That next paycheck was supposed to go to rent. So now you folding backwards. Now you falling on yourself because you didn't prepare. So build a savings, build an emergency fund, okay? Another thing to do is budget your money, make every dollar have a purpose. Without a purpose, these dollar bills go everywhere, okay? Don't keep everything in your checking account, because then you think you could subconsciously spend it because you got a lot. And then you end up buying too much and there's not a lot left. And next thing, if you work a 9 to 5, bro, take an extra shift, get some more money. If you have a side hustle, do more in your side hustle. Increase your income so that you could pay off the debt or just save more. You need to be more, the goal in this life is to make more to ultimately gain freedom. It's not always about the money, all right? Tap in. I had to move places because my camera was about to die, but hey, if you found some value in this video, go ahead and smash, I don't know, do a backflip on that like button. Leave a comment on what investment you would get, and also leave a comment on what part of the process you on. Hey, we all on this grind, okay? Everyone's on a part of the process. Someone might be rebuilding, someone might be about to invest. Comment what part of the process you're on. Always a beautiful day, like I said, always a beautiful day. And here's my dog, my little Rottweiler right here. Say what's up. He don't give a damn. If you mess with today, I drop content all about finance, all right? I drop motivational, I drop mindset videos. Tune in, yo. Tune in, really tune in. I want all of us to be successful. And if you want success, let's win together. Let's do it, all right? But for now, I'm gonna be with my guy. You know what I'm saying? Be with my guy. And I'll catch you on the next one, all right?